Okay, two more examples involving the fundamental theorem of calculus and some basic antiderivatives. First up, we have the integral from 0 to 2 of 4e to the x minus 1 dx. So we're going to take our antiderivative. The antiderivative, well, 4 is a coefficient, so it's going to move into our antiderivative. E to the x's antiderivative is itself, and the antiderivative of 1 is x. So we have 4x e to the x as our antiderivative. Again, no plus c, but we do want to take this from 0 to 2. All right, 0 to 2, which means we plug the 2 in first. So we have 4e squared minus 2. And now we subtract 4e to the 0 minus 0. Okay, notice I have used parentheses here, and that is very important as we are subtracting multiple terms, so we want to make sure that we practice safe math. And in this case, it actually doesn't matter because of the 0, but when you are doing f of b minus f of a, make sure during the f of a part that you have wrapped the entire function as you're plugging a in, otherwise it could mess up your answer. All right, now this again is correct, however we can simplify it slightly. We have 4e squared, we are subtracting 2, and then 4e to the 0. Well, e to the 0 is equal to what value? 1, very good. So we have 4 times 1 minus 0, or 4. So we have 4e squared minus 2 minus 4, or we could say 4e squared minus 6. Okay, again, all three answers are correct. One's just more simplified than the other. A little bit of trig as well. The integral from 0 to pi over 6 of cosine x dx. Step 1, take the antiderivative. What's the antiderivative of cosine? Sine, good. All right, so we have sine x, and that's evaluated from 0 to pi over 6. Now, if you're not solid with your trig chart, you really want to familiarize yourself, start it right away, because we have lots of problems like these, and it can very well come up on the exam, and you can get your antiderivative. You may know your antiderivative, but if you don't know your trig chart, you're not going to earn that point on the exam when you actually have to plug this in. So we have the sine of pi over 6 minus the sine of 0, f of b minus f of a. And again, that is not considered simplified enough. Even in the free response section, they want you to tell them what the sine of pi over 6 is. So you got to go to your trig chart. You got to know what the sine of pi over 6 is. Yes, it's 1/2 minus the sine of 0. Sine of 0, yep, that one's 0. So we have 1/2 minus 0, or 1/2. Okay, so be ready for your trig chart. Be ready for problems involving the antiderivatives with trigonometry.